Namaste, Katya. How are you feeling today, my dear? So nice to see you.
Namaste, Kausthub. I am very good, thank you.
Great, great.
How are you, Kausthub?
So far, so good, and very, very happy that we are doing this interview today. Namaste, friends, for all of you who are joining us today. It is wonderful to see you all here in
Namaste, friends.
event. Yeah. Today is the 6th of August, and we have the Viniyoga Women event number 16, Sri Shakti number 16, with Katja Ujcic from Slovenia. And Katja and I know each other for many years now, and we are very, very happy to talk very frequently on the Facebook, and usually it is she who is asking me very difficult questions, very, very difficult questions. And so we thought that this time the roles will be reversed, and she will be our Viniyoga woman, Sri Shakti, for this interview. And it is my turn to ask very simple questions, but important questions. So Katja, how do you feel to be on the other side?
I have to admit, I need energy support from our friends who are watching. It's a little bit different. I am more nervous than usual, so it's far more better on the other side with the questions, and a little bit more. I feel a little bit more vulnerable on that side. So. But I have all my heart is open, and we'll see what will come. Yeah, I will do my best as always.
Well, you don't have to worry because a lot of your friends are cheering you. There is Maria Alejandra from Colombia, Chandula from Sri Lanka, Valerie Dusu is saying namaste, and Rose Highland is saying namaste. So there are quite a few people already, and I'm sure more people are coming in. So friends, if you can hear us very well, and if you can see us very well, please let us know that everything is okay. And if you have some difficult questions for Katja, of course, you can always share it in the chat screen so I can easily read it for her.
So it's a revenge.
I don't know if it's revenge. It's called karma. What you give is what you get. It's not
okay, my gosh.
So anyway, Katja has delighted us that she's going to do the chanting for today. So let us listen to the chanting of the Katja to start.
Etat samagaya naste Ahamasmi Prathamaja Rata Sya Puravam Devepyo Amaratasya Na Ahi Yoma Dadati Sai Deva Ma Ahamannama Aham Vishvam Povanamapyabhavam Stovarna Jyotihi Ya Evam Veda Ityupanishad Hari Om.
Namaste, Katya. Thank you so much for this wonderful chant. I'm very surprised you choose this chant, so maybe later you can explain that why you choose this. But dear friends who have signed in, welcome back again. Today we are interviewing Katja Ujcic from Slovenia, who is a wonderful Viniyoga therapist. She completed her Viniyoga therapy training with us a couple of years ago, before the Corona times, which seems a long time ago. And she is also in our advanced yoga therapy training right now, and which we have not been able to meet so often now because of the Corona. So anyway, so Katja is also a wonderful art therapist, and is doing a lot of work with gifted people who have very interesting skills, which we will talk about later. So this is who we are interviewing today, and now Katja, the first question I have for you is what I had already asked you a little earlier. Why you choose this chant today to begin? Because it's a very interesting chant.
I choose it because I like it. It's a little bit different, I think. It is more, I have a feeling it is more, maybe more ancient in a way. And it has some sort of like stability and light at the same time. So I chant it a lot for myself and also for my clients. And it's really something that it's very, how would I say, it moves, but it moves in very neutral way. It does not disturb really a lot, but it's like detoxifying in a way. I don't know if I get it, but this is how I feel it. It's really supporting me.
That's excellent to hear. That is excellent to hear. I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that. So, Katja, so now slowly we come to the next question, which is that we want to talk a little bit about your history to the tradition. When was the first time you were introduced to Viniyoga, and how you continued from there till where you are right now?
Well, I started with Hatha Yoga decades ago, but with Viniyoga, I was introduced in Slovenia when you came to Ljubljana. It was a seminar, I think it was 2 or 3 days you were there. But at that point, I was not really very, let's say, I didn't know what to do with that, but I was just, I had a very great time there, yeah, and was, of course, very interested. But later on, I connected on Facebook, and you invited me to go to Brussels to study yoga therapy, and I said, why? It's like, I'm just, a regular yoga girl. But then you said, yeah, it's something about you. And in that moment, I think I will remember all my life. You probably will not, but I'm joking. But actually, I connected to all my, let's say, past lives or something like that. It was just a stream of all the lives that I saw, to the point of one ancient being. And I was like, wow, I said, I think it was less than 1 minute. And then I just said, I'm coming. But this was my experience first with how powerful the real focused yoga and really traditional yoga is, as you are a mentor and a teacher, yeah, and a healer. And I just said, yes, this is something I need to explore. And from that, actually, I went 3 years in Brussels in yoga therapy, and now advanced yoga therapy, which is a little bit on hold, but I hope very soon we will put on push. Yeah.
Great, great. A little surprising thing for me there, which you said that you are just a regular yoga girl. I don't think anybody who knows you will actually call you like a regular yoga girl. There's nothing regular about this statement. Katja, that brings me to to ask you to share, because one of the beautiful things about Viniyoga is the different kinds of things that our teachers and therapists are doing. And so I think it'll be very interesting for people to actually hear about what is it that you are doing. What is the things that you are doing? Tell us a little bit about your work.
Well, about my work, I have to tell you a lot about myself, but we'll try to make it short, yeah.
Oh,
So
we have time. Don't worry. We just started.
yeah, okay. So I was in my early age, in my childhood, I was recognized as highly gifted person. And with that, actually, it was, let's say, 1 week of sort of celebration or having a nice time about it. But then no one did anything, because in that time, and also now in the time, no one knows what that means. So I buried that giftedness under the rules of the society and all the dysfunctional lives that we have now, and I didn't touch it until, and then in my late let's say 30s, middle 30s, I started to my own psychotherapy due to my own personal crisis. And in these years, I actually asked my therapist about the giftedness. What does she think about that? And she said it's not important. And I encountered in many, let's say, mentors or teachers that gave me the same reply. This is not important. This is not really something we should look. Yeah. But in one point I realized, and I think it happened when I started to visit Brussels with you, Kausthub, when I realized when you gave me the space for all my craziness, yeah, and all my eccentricity and all my questions. So actually, I could even see, literally, I can see energy, I can see places, energy spaces. and I can see different entities, yeah. And I could literally see the space opened in front of me, which hold all my questions and all my remarks and all my craziness that I put you under the pressure to answer. And then at that point, I realized that giftedness is something that I should address first, that myself, and then also the whole world in a way. Why we are so crazy? We are not supporting the gifts that we have in our energy, the potentials that we have. And let's be clear, we are all gifted. It's not just IQ. Yeah, but we are all gifted in many areas, especially with energy. I encounter with my clients how they are very gifted working with energy. So I went also then later on therapy for gifted people, and with the lady Sue from Canada, I'm working now together. We are developing some new platforms for gifted people, but mostly I am trying to help people in a holistic way. So not just, let's say, cognitive way, talking about it, or in way of art, how art heals, but I try really to embrace as I was embraced with yoga therapy, and my therapists were gifted. I try to embrace in holistic way. So I address emotion, mental state, energy state, and when all our seeds are actually giving space for the expression, this is why I'm expressional therapist. When the space is given for these seeds, they just start to jump out. And I can see in every person that I encounter, when this space is given, then the seeds inside are so happy, and they just like waving me from the other side. Oh, I want to join, yeah. So it's so very important actually that we are embracing gifts, recognize them, putting these gifts in consciousness, because these are actually the meaning of our life. Yeah, this makes our life meaningful. So let's say my clients, that they are recognizing their gifts, they know that if they look back to their life, that all the story, all the pain, all the experience that they had in their life actually brought them to the point that they realize how powerful actually they are on this area where they suffer. Yeah, so I suffer a lot of, let's say, giftedness area, because I was different. Yeah, I was too intense. Yeah, I still am. My energy is very complex. Yeah, multidimensional, but at the same time, I can support people that are also like that. So this is something, let's say, in short, very short description.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I have to tell the people listening that your questions during our interviews are not as difficult as your questions during our training program was, which I think earned you the title from your classmates, Professor Katja.
Yes,
Remember?
I know.
You
yes,
were called Professor Katja by your classmates. It was so deadly questions.
Yeah.
But Katja, obviously you are doing something which is very different from what, let's say, normal society would kind of understand or even accept, or the opposite, accept or understand or accept. It's going to be challenging for them. But yet, this is something that you are very boldly embracing. What is it that gives you the strength to embrace it? And very importantly, how has it transformed your life? Because I can say a lot about that, about you, but you have to say it yourself. How has it transformed your life by embracing your true nature, rather than trying to fit somebody else's definition of what is normal according to society?
Yes. Well, it's a great question, of course, and I think a lot of people will find also themselves in that
I ask the question because there may be many people who are listening who are feeling that they are alone and they cannot be themselves because they're different, but maybe your example will inspire them.
Yes, thank you. So the tall poppy syndrome is some sort of, let's say, cultural phenomenon, which actually means that the one who is a little bit different, the one who understands better, or the one who is a little bit more crazy, or it's not so how we are all the same, all the rules are for the same, all the minds, the hearts, the bodies are the same, but the one who is the tall poppy needs to be cut. But the point is not just that society is cutting these tall poppy people, yeah. And if you think a little bit, probably there are a lot of you amongst all the other poppies that thinks that they are all on the lower level. Actually, there are a lot of tall poppies. Is that we cut ourselves. Actually, it's not so much, let's say, it's the society is cutting, but we try to adjust to the, let's say in high school, we try to adjust and be the same, be the popular with the popular girls, popular boys, or it's the same in kindergarten, it's the same the first grade, grade in the school. We are actually putting ourselves subconsciously in a position of the others. So we are cutting ourselves, we are cutting our higher intelligence, I'm saying this is something the familiar with me, like something that is higher intelligence, is the connection actually to something that it's more intelligent than our intellect just, So, and I actually was in the same room, Now, when I look back, when I was little, I had a lot of intuitive insights that were just cut off from, let's say, school. It's just normal. It was normal at that time. It's still normal now. I can see the children and the parents, how they are treating their children, and how they were treated. Nothing was supported, nothing was given space in all the craziness. So let's say if I'm with a child in my therapy session, they can do whatever they want to express, and this then becomes such a fantastic opportunity for them. It's like you can see sparkles around them. So and when we are actually cutting ourselves and putting ourselves in the shoes in that they don't fit us, usually I say this: you cannot put a storm into a paper box. So when we put ourselves in this paper box, then we are disconnected from our true selves. So when and then we are disconnected from our potentials and our seeds. So all that we need to address also then later in life, if we really want to go on a path to our of our authenticity and our potentials. So, for example, I should probably study physics and quantum physics, because I could actually, I could understand equations like that. I just saw the movement of something and I could write the equation. And but then I was too scared. And I said, okay, I will probably not be able to do that. I'm going to study something else. And I just, lower myself so many times, like I'm not good enough. This is not something I feel, this like intuitively feel, This is not something that it's advanced or that it's good for others or for me. So many times now I am still in the loop, like, okay, I need to be clear that I'm probably 10,000 more advanced than people that I'm talking, yeah? But my feeling inside, my perception is that they are 10,000 more advanced than I am. So there's a lot of transformation we need to do, especially with the people who have who are more equipped with the, I'm saying, these antennas, yeah, that are actually collecting then the information from the higher intelligence, from the higher self, from the universe, like intuition, or you can feel it, or some people can step into, let's say, mathematical equation, and they can just with it in their energy dimension. Some people, they see the geometric forms, yeah. Some people they see or they feel energy fields, yeah. Some people hear things, or they just, you know, close their eyes, or even not, and you know, the pictures, they just start to roll. So these are all, if you are one of them, these are all things that are, you know, coming from antennas that are more or larger or more advanced or more powerful. And what we don't know in our early age and also now, how to manage that and how to get this information inside, how to transform it in our special, unique, gifted way, and then put it out and implement it. And this is what I actually teach. This is what I am healing people on, how to really validate and put in the consciousness all these antennas, and how to in inner field of giftedness. So some people, they can see, or they can feel this, let's say, inner processor of giftedness in many forms. It can be energy, it can be like a machine, it can be like an animal, yeah. So it helps them transform and bring it to life. And then we need to, of course, have a return energy from that. This is also very important, to receive energy back from our giftedness, yeah, for our what we put out. This is why we receive, it's very good to receive nice words or payment and so on. So it's also, this is very important. So there's a lot of material that I work with, but it's, yes, as you said, it's actually based on my personal experience and personal journey, which is actually a hero journey for every one of us, yeah.
And I think that is what it's time to get a little bit personal. Can you talk about your personal journey and whether it was easy for you to embrace your true nature, and what kind of changes you saw in your body, in your emotions, in your energy around? So share your personal journey, please, if you don't mind, because I'm sure it'll inspire everybody.
So, well, when I realized this giftedness is important, and how when I experienced this the energy field in yoga advanced studies that you gave to me, actually a lot of things started to change, very very subtle, yeah. So intuition came, for example, and it was really there. Somehow the path started to open, but it was really, really very slowly. I need to do a lot of work on myself. So I did my own psychotherapy. I did all the studies, art therapy, therapy for gifted, yoga therapy, coaching. So actually it helped me, all these things helped me to be able to express. So to be able to express, which before was really very difficult for me. So sometimes also now it's difficult. Maybe it does not look like, but yes, it is, yeah. Yeah. but was really, really
It
bad.
doesn't look like you are having difficulty now. It doesn't look like it.
So yes, it was before very difficult for me. And what happened was all this somehow calibrated me on the right path. How I experience with the help mostly with Kausthub and Viniyoga is that it was like levels was different levels of me and different dimensions of me started to open. And first was like slowly, because the higher intelligence, our subconscious, the consciousness, higher consciousness, it's really very, very intelligent, very intelligent. So it didn't left me on the next level if I was not prepared. And was slowly with all the difficulties of many emotional difficulties and rigidity and mental difficulties and mental disturbance, yeah, and with a lot of spiritual experience also, I somehow managed to come to that place where I'm now, which is in a way a neutral place. So I offer individual one-to-one, and I offer programs, and I offer workshops. One of the workshops is also labyrinths, and the labyrinths actually just came to me. Yeah, I was in a workshop in Italy, Assisi in Italy, on how to build the labyrinths, but was 3-4 days workshop. But at the moment when I was there, I knew I will have to build them all over the world, actually. And I realized them that are like, mantras, yantras, but they are bigger energy portals. And now I'm building them in Slovenia. And it's something completely, let's say, different from gift or something like that. It's one of, again, my potentials, my seeds, yeah. And what happened in the latest labyrinth that we have in nice monastery was that it really established such a great energy in the center of this labyrinth. There is a special ritual we do and so on, and we build the labyrinth by stones or whatever we have. So, and when I enter into this labyrinth, I knew something very deep and profound will happen for all of us, for me and all the participants. So what happened was that it stripped me of all the attachments, negative attachments or positive attachments. And it was 2 days of such a great, it was not even like bliss or enlightenment or nothing like that. So like, with that kind of words, but we were put, and I was put in a neutral position. So it's such a very intense experience, but at the same time, such an easy one, because prior this experience, I had many like ups and downs, and also yoga therapy in the new practice and so on. And you helped me because I knew something was bubbling, yeah. And it came out at that ritual there. So I'm now in a very, let's say, good position, yeah, but in position on really neutrality. So nothing should bother me. Nothing bothers me. Of course, it does, but it's in completely different perception of that. Let's say something negative or something positive. It just flows, yeah, flows out of it. And I think this is something that yoga therapy helped me a lot, of course, with all my others, but yoga actually put it to me in a way of in my way, yeah, in my dharma way, probably, yeah.
Yes, dharmic way. Katja, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, 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 I'm waiting.
I thought you were going to say something more. Anyway,
was freezing.
yeah, it's good. It's good. See, all this spiritual work that you are doing, not only for yourself but also with your students, is not something that is easy, and sometimes it can create certain conflicts, let's say between you and your students, which need not be that there is actually a conflict, but it could be like a challenging situation between you and your students. And certainly there were moments in your own journey where you had some difficult situations with me as well. So how do you manage and this kind of situation, both as a student and as a teacher? How are you going to manage this? How are you managing it, and how will you manage it in the future as well? This will be very important, because many people think that the ideal teacher-student relationship is always comfortable, happy, laughing, drinking coffee and having cake, etc. So that's why I want to ask you this question, because it makes it more real.
Well, it's an inner feeling. I'm always going on the inner feeling, and I think that when we are, let's say, adult enough, in a way, we realize that a teacher, a mentor, a therapist in front of us, it's someone who is helping us. And if ego is hurting in a way, it means we need to do some more work and process there. So some inner work. So I encounter in my life many problems with my let's say mentors, teachers. Somehow I was very intense mirror to them. It was sometimes really, I don't actually remember that now thinking back, if there was someone who was like my teacher, a mentor, or a therapist for me that didn't become agitated with my let's say mirroring or questioning or intensity. So and also with you, but it with you was I always had a feeling that there is it is like a bigger story behind that. Yeah, it's something that it must be that I need to transform. Yeah, something that I need to see, and I'm very clear about that now, and very peaceful about that. But and regarding, let's say, my clients, I'm saying that whoever comes to me, it hears the call, because they're the people who are my clients. They have a special sparkle inside, and there is some sort of, let's say, meant to be. Yeah, and those who cannot handle that or are triggered in any kind of way, then it's also okay like that. You know, maybe they will return in a few years or not. It's actually, I am really in such a place that I see the people that I encounter, that they come to me from higher. Yeah, that it's really something that it's on divine level. Yeah, and I also work like that. I'm really like a channel. I I think we spoke once in Brussels. I don't know if you will remember, but I do. that actually when I step into the therapy or mentor on mood, yeah, there I actually become someone else. It's not me as Katja, it's something else, and I can actually feel that. Yeah, so when there is a client or a person that needs help, or there's a workshop, there's something else is working for me, and I trust that energy, I trust that higher intelligence so much that you know, sometimes I don't know 5 minutes or 5 seconds what we will do in advance. Yeah, sometimes I already see what we will do like days before. Just I have I have let's say intuitive insight about that, and I say okay, but sometimes I don't know. But every time was like 100% every time, let's say, right and correct and proper. And I'm really very grateful for that. And actually, yoga therapy, Viniyoga, and Kausthub actually brought me to that. And I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next.
Me too. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next. I do remember that conversation very well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember. Katja, there is a question from one of the participants, Katri. You know her. She is
Yes.
asking,
Hi, Katri.
do you work with parents who have gifted children?
Yes, also.
So can you say a few words so Katri is happy?
Yes. So usually it's like that. The parents they bring children to me, and then the child is great. But parents, some of them, they immediately they want to also go into therapy with me, but some of them might also not. They don't think it's necessary. But what I do is that I invite them in a place with the child when the child has a therapy with me. So I invite them for hours, for 1 hour or 2 hours, or a little bit 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before. And then magic things actually can happen. So let's say once I have a very, very creative person. She's 12 years old, and her mother is more like a scientific, a mother from science. Yeah, she's a scientist. And I asked them to draw how their mind works. So when they are in their mind, when they are like thinking, how their mind works, how would they draw that? And it was completely the opposite. So the little girl draw like many crazy things, spirals, circles, animals, like a lot. Everything was one over another. The mother draw a line and a little square and a line and a little square and a line and a little square, and then maybe there's a line and a little square. So everything was in boxes. So, and I put in 2 separate rooms, and when we came together, it was such an immense insights for a mother, and of course also for a child, but mostly was important for a mother, that the mother recognized how she cannot ever put that kind of a daughter's mind into little boxes. This was so different. So, and so then I said, okay, let's do, each of one of you have 2 opposites. So what can be a little part that it's the same, that can touch, because you cannot switch minds like that. Yeah, the creative mind is like that, the box mind is like that, and nothing is wrong, which everything is okay. Yeah, so we have that kind of mind, that or however kind of mind or thinking process. But it was a great insight. So the mother at that point really had a big transformation in perception of a child.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And it clearly shows, right, how the different scientific approach and the artistic approach are totally different. It's a very beautiful example. I hope Katri is happy with this story. Katja, this raises me one more point, which I think is also important, since we are doing the topic of Viniyoga women, because from this story, obviously, it's very clear that even though this lady was like a mother, her mind was structured with masculine energy.
Yes.
And for all the giftedness, all the spiritual approaches, etc., traditionally it was more the feminine women's approach. Women had the power, they were the gatekeepers of spirituality, but of course we know the history, somehow they were persecuted and it became too male dominant. So in your own journey, as you are evolving now, do you feel that you are embracing more the feminine energy? And if so, or could you say a few words about that? If not, we go to the next question.
Yes, of course, but not in a way feminine energy as, let's say, I don't feel the feminine energy as, let's say, in dresses or in you know, like that. Yeah.
I don't mean that. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I really feel that in healing part, in healing and in spirituality. I never before thought I would be someone who is, let's say, a healer or a spiritual healer in a way, because I can work with energies. I can see energies around the people and so on. So it's like in that kind of way, like how this feminine energy can has higher intelligence and can do anything. Yeah, and it can also be in a way how I am now approaching, how now I experience this neutrality. Now the, let's say, the earth, you know, I just ask myself, oh, Kausthub is bored. I just ask myself, what is now with this experience of being so in such a neutral place, and I get an answer from that neutral place. You can really manifest things. Yeah, so this is where also this feminine creative energy starts to appear. Yeah, so we need to both combine the feminine energy, the creative energy, and the spiritual energy from this neutral point. You know, I'm talking now very, let's say, from my experience, what I think it will come. So the manifestation now, it's not like new age, you know, you come and you think about how rich you are, and then you will be rich. Is far away from that. It's actually really working on yourself to come to this place of the neutral, let's say, position. Yeah, and so it's the feminine energy in healing, in spirituality, in creating. I really experience all this. Yeah, I never thought I will. Yeah, I didn't even imagine. So this is the beauty, yeah, because we are all unique, and it's so interesting how things are actually starting to open up. Yeah, with the energy. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Erika Schnetzer from Switzerland is asking a question. Is it okay to just listen to what our students are telling and sometimes just ask a question or two and then just give them a practice?
Like in Viniyoga, yeah.
Well, she's asking more about in the healing work that you are doing with the gifted children, because this question came after when you were answering Katri's question.
Okay. Well, you really need to know what you are doing, you know, and you really need to trust your intuition. So when I'm with a child, I sense the possibilities behind, or with an adult, it's the same. Yeah. So I sense the possibilities behind, and I had a feeling where they could go. I never pushed anything. I'm just observing. Yeah. But I am facilitating things. So it's never that we are like judging what they are saying or insinuating, oh, you could be a great artist or something like that. No, it needs to come from them. So it's something that, but we need to be fully aware what are, let's say, potentials of that child. But to sometimes, let's say, I immediately know, sometimes I don't know, but it reveals the giftedness and the potentials in a child or in an adult after let's say, some heavy defense mechanisms are more soft and more mellow. So I can, you know, detect what is behind. Yeah. And it's really very interesting, let's say, that a lot of children are coming to me prior they decide for university, yeah, between high school and university. And let's say sometimes I know what they will, where they will go, and I support that, yeah. Sometimes I try to show them the real authentic them from different tools, so that they will at least have, let's say, some sort of hobby or something that they will, you know, put energy and creative flow into that, let's say, their real true potentials, if they will go and study something, let's say, less of their abilities, yeah.
That's very good. That's very good. I hope Erika is happy with the answer. Obviously, Katja, what you are saying, just answering to Katri or Erika or even other questions I've asked, you talked about the spirituality with the students. It obviously takes a lot of energy out of the teacher, right? Because it's not a light process. Because you're doing many things. You're holding the student in a safe space. You are thinking about a creative process. You're using your intuition. You are facilitating transformation. You're trying to put energy to find the right kind of communication, etc. All this is exhausting. In some ways, it's depleting. How do you nourish yourself back so that you are fit again for the next student who comes the same day or the next day? How do you nourish yourself? Because obviously you can't keep giving all the time.
Well, of course, I do everyday yoga therapy that you gave to me, and I also chant, yeah. But and I also go to the nature a lot. I like the sea, and you know, and the water for me is so important. So I go into the sea or to the lake if it's at least possible somewhere. But the point is that when I am in the process, I am never exhausted. It's actually the opposite, you know. It's the creative flow goes through me, and if I was, let's say, exhausted before, when I am in the process, it's the energy is so healing also for me that I feel very rejuvenated after the sessions. But of course, there is, let's say, also physical and emotional and mental wellness that I need to address, and I'm fully aware of it. So I really am trying to focus on how to deal with my body and what I'm eating. And that I have a really very good friends who are supporting me. So this is very important, not to be with the people who just don't get you, you know. And I've been with a lot of that in my life, and I'm done with that. So, but working with gifted people, and of course, there is. Each one of us think, oh, I'm not gifted, but we all are, yeah. So working with people and it's like in sessions, or just writing articles, or making a program, it's actually something that fills me up. Maybe I'm just no, a little bit strange, but I think it's like that. It is okay. I like it.
You remember in the beginning of the talk, you said you were a regular girl, and now you are saying you are a bit strange. Which is the right one?
Well, no, and before I perceived myself as a regular girl, which is very normal for a gifted person, yeah.
I think you're a regular strange girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Strange not in a bad way, because I think sometimes in English strange can be seen in a negative way. Katja, I have one last question, unless our audience has other questions. One last question is, what is your advice as a woman to other women of our times?
Dare to be yourself. I think that there are two things that I really observe in people, and then I will talk also about the women. It's the sparkle inside. If you feel the sparkle inside, and I think that all the people that are going to watch that interview, and they are yours or my followers, that for sure they have a sparkle. So just follow the sparkle and validate that sparkle inside, and take it really as a gift. And the other thing is a strong will that actually incorporates inside also the courage. So the dare to be yourself, yeah. Because I was before my life, yeah, the previous life that I had, I was on very, very high places, and was also very known in Slovenia. And I worked on very high function jobs, yeah. So, but it was something that it was not me. Nevertheless, I got there from my intelligence, but it was something that was not authentically me, and this is why it collapsed. And I didn't dare to be there at that time, my authentic self. But when I got the space and when I saw the opportunity, my sparkle just, pushed me there. So the courage is really, really very important. And it's the first, let's say, step to self-reflect. And then the next step is also to dare to begin a therapy. It's just like that. Nowadays there is no personal transformation, no transcendence without one-to-one. It's my experience. Kausthub, you're also nodding, yeah. But there is no, you cannot really fully advance if you don't have one-to-one therapy. And this is why I think men or women, we really need to have a self-reflection and say, okay, I'm anticipating something that will change in life, I'm not really doing the really focused work. And it does not take just, let's say, 6 months. It takes at least 3 years. Very intense work. It's just the way it is, yeah. So really there, and open the possibility inside that there is something that higher intelligence, the divine, is really trying and pushing you to open and to really do the giftedness and uniqueness for you. For example, I have ladies who are my clients, and they opened up in a process to a specific healing that they are going to do now, yeah. So each one of us really has a so specific and unique giftedness in us, and especially women, we really need to help this world to heal. It's not going to be sorry, men, it's not going to be really for men, yeah. Because we somehow need to start first, and because the healing, the creativity, the energy comes through us, and we really need to support each other and dare to begin, yeah.
Excellent. I really fully agree that the last few things you said about daring to be yourself, which I think is a very big fear that many people have, yeah, to be themselves, fear of self. And also the daring to begin the therapy, which I think is very, very critical. And yeah, it's very important. And the last one is a bit debatable, Katja, because you say, oh, blah, 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 sorry, men. But I'm sorry, I'm a man, and I am helping a lot of women, I think, including you. So I think some men have still some chance. don't
Yes, yes,
don't
of
kick us
course.
out of the planet. You know,
No, 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 no,
maybe
no.
maybe all the men should join the Jeff Bezos and Virgin Atlantic guy to go in the spacecraft to another planet, so you ladies can take the
No,
make
no,
it.
no, but you know, but my by my and I think your experience, there are much more ladies in going on the path of towards themselves. So let's say the ladies, we somehow we are more courageous, or we are more in pain. I don't know. Yeah. So I also have a lot of male clients. So somehow it's for me it's almost half half. So I'm really very proud of them, and they are really evolving so. They are also, you know, supporting this process, but mostly I think women are the ones who will pull this wagon, you know, towards the new perception, the new consciousness, yeah, of this world, in this community.
This I agree. This I agree. Even and in my work, I have majority and big majority, like 90% of my students are women. 90 plus percentage of my students, and I think this spirituality and transformation and self-reflection, somehow in my experience, I've seen it comes much more easier to women than to men. Men have a lot of resistance looking inside. Men have a lot of resistance. It could be cultural reasons, it could be social reasons, it could be certain cliche expectations that men have to be tough, etc. But certainly, the reality is women are much more tuned to be able to turn inward much more quicker, and much more easier than the men of this time. This I agree with you completely. Anyway, that's wonderful, Katya. I wish I can ask you more questions, but we are crossing our time limit. So we will stop here, my dear friends, and thank you all for joining us in this conversation with Katja Ujcic from Slovenia.
Maybe just one
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just one last, maybe one last sentence. If someone was excited over what was I talking, I am inviting you on my autumn program, which I will start in the autumn. So it's Odisea ad Astra. It's the things that I was talking about, how we are grounding and coming from heart and reaching towards the stars. So I will post, Kaustubha, with your permission, under this I will post a link to this program. If someone is interested, you can just sign in, and then I will let you know when we will start. But it's going to be really something that it's a unique program which combines all the things that I was talking, and it's really multidimensional, and we have a very nice time. So warmly welcome.
Yes, please share that link below, and I can tell all of you, my dear friends, it would be a wonderful opportunity for you to take this work with Katya, because she is very good healer and intuitive person, so you will only benefit. So please do take the opportunity if you can. So thank you all, my dear friends, for joining us today, and thank you so much, Katya, for being on the other side for a change. I'm so happy that we did this.
Yes, me also. Thank you.
Namaste, friends, and see you in a couple of weeks for our next interview. Watch out for the details. Namaste.
Namaste.